Yo, it's S.O.D, the mic's on fire. Old Garris in the game, taking you higher. Ex-college beast, now the playbook's a feast. Breaking down the lines like a lyrical priest. From the gridiron grind to the sideline shine, he's got the insight sharper than a...
Welcome to S.O.D Talk. This is your host, Darius Haiti. So today we're going to actually be talking about Miami Dolphins passing game while Jalen Waddle is on the field. So what happened to it? Why is it struggling? Is it being successful? Where are we getting our wins and where are we getting our losses?
All right, guys. So before we even start, let's go ahead and look at this play in the red zone. Obviously, a low red zone. They were for the first 5 yards. Achan's not on the field. Again, we're going to be heavily focusing on all passing plays and talking about the things that work and does not work. On this play, you're going to see Coach Strange lose within the first contact of his initial block. Basic pass pro block. One thing that the Miami Dolphins offensive line isn't doing well. They are doing a lot of things well this year, but that's one thing they are struggling with. Tua takes a massive hit, but he goes through multiple reads. His first read is going to be to the left side of the field. He progresses to those reads and then gets to Waddle, who creates separation with the over route, shallow over route. And you'll see it here. All right. As the play go ahead and roll, we see they move into with the 3 people looking into the box. Play action. Coach Strange loses with a rip under. And we come back over across our body. So let's look at this play one more time and see how this actually got here. All right. They move a defender into the box for interior run. We play action to Gordon. And then you can see here we want to throw the ball to Westbrook Kinney, but he doesn't create any separation. If anything, he gets jammed up at the line of scrimmage like really badly. And so Tua doesn't feel comfortable throwing the ball into a tight window to this particular player. Obviously, confidence has to be earned, not given. And then he moves across his reads, and from his blind side, he gets hit as he locates Jalen Waddle, releasing the ball, putting enough velocity on it, even though he gets hit and does not finish the full uh, passing motion of the ball, and it gets to Jalen Waddle with accuracy, creating a touchdown and 6 points for the Miami Dolphins. Good job all across the board, except for Westbrook Akine, who did not create any separation, and obviously Cole Strange giving up a hit on the quarterback, which probably could have been a lot worse. All right, for our next play, we're going to go ahead and get a situation where the Miami Dolphins are going to give us a counter play action call. When they do their little rollout, very great play design. At this point in the game, we've already scored a touchdown on them. We've already put points. We've already showed that we have the ability to run the ball. Now you can suck in linebackers, suck in DBs and safeties who are in zone coverage and have their eyes onto the quarterback in the line of scrimmage, who are not playing sound football. The Miami Dolphins are literally built on teams not being disciplined. That's why you struggle against teams that are much more disciplined, like Mike Vrabel and stuff like that. Those type of defensive apologies. But in this particular situation, we're going to play action to our right hand side. We're going to counter our fullback back to the left, and Achan, we're going to play action it to the right hand side of the offense. And then we're going to get Dochis out into the flats, and then a quick over route from the tight end, because we're basically playing with Waller as a tight end in this particular game. He is not a receiver. He's not fast enough. He doesn't create enough separation. You have to scheme him open. And so I'm not a big fan of that, but it allows you to come out and heavy and basically run the ball. So in this situation, Tua gets out, gets his first read open, automatically throws it down to Dosich, which is a great job. Now, we do use Waddle as a decoy in this particular situation. I'm running him with a 9 route, basically pulling the corner and any safety that is going to be with him in that particular situation. And we get a good amount of yards, almost 20 yards on a simple play just because of play design, right? No talent in this particular situation. Outside of the offensive line holding up and doing a great job. Is a great job by actually being able to bring Brewer out and actually get a chance to block that edge player, which is really good. So we'll see it here. Ball is hiked after. Oh, sorry. We get our motion. Ingle to the left, Achan to the right. Dochis gets initial hands onto the end and then gives in Brewer a chance to get out. No one takes the tight end. Dochis gets wide open, breaks an initial tackle, and then, well, not breaks it, but get past the initial tackle and then gets an additional yardage. This is a great job. I think Dochis actually has played himself into a roster spot for next year, and I think he's probably our best overall tight end. And if you had to play one tight end for all situations, I think Dochis would be that individual. I think is really good. and then he gets upfield and obviously gets a bunch of yak out of this particular play. Now, there's not a lot for Tua. He sees his first read, he gives the ball. Now, what I kind of would like, which is just being greedy and not any kind of analytics, but to get the ball to Waller after the play action to get more yardage and give opportunity for more explosives. But we still get an explosive out of this particular situation because of the tight end's ability to run after the catch.
All right, on this particular play, you're going to go ahead and see that we have basically heavy right, two tight ends, and we get a play action with two receiving threats, really. They also have a fake screen, but I'm not even sure if that's a fake because Miami will throw it as well. So you get your play action to your right hand side. It does a really good job of holding the linebackers, and you get a good explosive play. So as we get through it, I'm going to show you where I wanted Tua to throw the ball. So at this point, once he hits the top of his drop, the ball he should already, as soon as his foot hits at the top of that drop, the ball should already be coming out. The reason why, because we still got a good play out of it, but if he gets the ball to him earlier, because the linebacker got sucked in so much by the play action, you give him an opportunity to get so much more yak after. Instead, you throw the ball to the sideline, and he barely gets the ability to turn field. So he catches it outside the numbers, and he only has 4 yards to move up, and he picks up about 3 yards after the catch. Now, let's talk about how the play action held these backers. So as you can see, we get Ingle pull over, shifts the linebackers, play action, and you also get that linebacker to come up towards Ingle and H-hand. But what makes it even better is we get that sift block back to the backside. So if they're in man, which it looks like, you see that backside cutback linebacker also has to move to that side, creating a much wider window. It's a great play design by Mike McDaniels. And then obviously Tua does a great job of getting the ball there. I would have liked him to get it there a little bit sooner, and I feel like that's something that he tended to do a little bit before this year.
All right, I want you to pay close attention to Waddle on this particular play. They get play action across. They leave the DN unblocked, and then Tua has to get rid of the ball extraordinarily quick. This is where I like Mike McDaniel's like play calling, but you have to understand because of his play calling, it leaves the quarterbacks in this system to be extremely limited in options. Waddle gets jammed up twice bad. He gets off the line of scrimmage. He gets the initial jam from the corner. Then the slot hits him and almost derails him completely in this particular situation with a safety over top. Where does Tua go with the ball here? He's looking at Waddle. Can't throw that. Maybe you can get it to the running back quickly if you want to do that as an option, but the spacing is tight. So they leave the DN unblocked, so it allows for our tight end to get underneath the coverage. But what if the linebacker was a little stickier to that? So that just becomes all you can do and get a few yards out of this particular play. It's a good short yardage particular play to get a few yards out of it. But for you guys who want more yardage and getting the ball deep and making your quarterbacks make decisions, these type of play calls make them very limited in those decisions that they can make. So in this particular play, this play is kind of the play that kind of makes you see why watching film is so important. We get a motion right to the backfield with Waller, and we actually get two receivers finally on the field. Another play action, and I know how well play action is working, but I'm not a big fan because we can't drop back and pass block. So we get play action, but look at how they play Waddle. Waddle gets a basically in breaking route, inside release, and it's look like match three, and they switch it with the safety. They are trying to take everything away from Waddle. Waddle is their focus of the particular defense. So they basically match it backside with both the receivers, and because the defensive end gets upfield, which is great, he makes a good replay recognition, understanding that it's not a run. Don't have to worry about cutback anymore. Get to the quarterback and forces Tua, who does a great job of shifting his feet, readjusting, and getting the ball out to Dolchich in a position so he can get to make a play. This is a lot harder than it looks. And so let's take a shorter look at it. I'm convinced that the linebackers for the Jets are not that good. Uh, they all shift down, but they don't recognize that a pass quickly enough, like the defensive end does. So they shift over with Waller, and then they basically kind of lock that up on this side because I feel like it was cover three match, and then that that linebacker, the weak side linebacker, is just taking forever. Which I guess he becomes the Sam, but the initial weak side linebacker never recognizes that hey, this is play action. This is a pass. Let me get back on my track and try to get there and make this ball a little bit more difficult. So I mean, but they're getting killed by the run, so it makes sense. This is why so many people are crying for the run game to get better because it creates plays like this. So on this play, I'm going to challenge you. Don't follow the ball. All I just wanted you to do is look at Waddle and look how the two defenders at the bottom of the screen are playing Waddle and why this is why Waddle's not going off. You get the press corner ready to press Waddle, and then the safety on top is literally sitting. Now his eyes are in the backfield to make a play on it, but they are so delayed against the run because they are like, forget that. Waddle is not beating us. And finally, Mine decides to play with a second receiver on the field, so you get an opportunity to try to make a play. And I feel like my man Washington is a running back playing receiver. So in this particular situation, you just get a jet sweep across the field, and everything looks pretty good. You get a pretty good job. Cole Strange does not really get a good block. He blocks no one trying to help and never gets off the duel to the next level. So this is why it doesn't score. Okay, in this particular play, there's a couple things going on. It seems super simple, and then when I got a chance to go back and look at it again, and I'm like, man, this Miami got no freaking weapons. They gotta draft a receiver. They got two receivers on the field, and if I'm the defense, I'm looking at Waller as a receiver. I'm counting this as 11 personnel, not 12 personnel with two tight ends, right? Because how Miami uses him. Now, in this particular situation, this is what I wanted Miami to do last week when they couldn't convert a third down, because what they do is they hitch Waddle underneath, and then they bring Waller over top of him, forcing the linebacker and that slot corner to be conflict defenders. Now, you see right here, hitch, wide open linebacker wants too deep, then comes straight onto him. But yuck, look at the top of the screen. Washington, get off the block, dude. I'm in the jam. You look like you blocking. Oh my gosh. No weapons, but better play design, especially if you're trying to get a short yardage. And I believe this was a second and short, a third and short. So they end up getting the yardage. All right, before I even get to the throw by Tua, the play design here, it makes things so very limited. Like, it is great. It is a man beater. But if we're looking at Waddle at the bottom, he goes into short motion. He comes up. Look where he's at on the field. He's in between the numbers and the sideline. He's not even an option to throw the ball. You can't throw that ball. You can't throw that ball. And then you have Westbrook Akine, who's just a run off to try to open things up. I get that. But then we come back, and the target on the first option, the first target on this particular play is going to be Waller. Comes underneath, he gets an over route over the linebackers, top of the drop, and we're right here. This is where Tua has to make his decision. He has the top of the drop. This is when you were taught to throw the ball. He has two options to make a decision. He has that under and the over. Over is Waller, the under is Washington. Dudley Do Wrong said Tua should have thrown the under with this outside linebacker or nickel. I can't really tell by the personnel to throw the under. He's completely outflanked. It's third down. You're not going to be able to get that ball to him. You're going to get him killed. It's a horrible decision to throw there. Tua makes the right decision. He goes to Waller. I think the ball's tipped, but when I looked at it on the film, it's hard to even see it. It's a bad ball. It looked like it was going behind him anyway. And if he throws it too far in front of him, the corner who is on Waddle is going to make a play on it. So um, I'm not saying it's bad play design. I just think it's better built to beat man. They play zone. They can still work with a super accurate, perfect pass like Tua has done before. Um, but it just what kind of bugs me a little bit is when I see people watch film and then they say, "Oh, he should have thrown this." Well, you need to look at what he was at, the timing of the drop. Where was he at the top of the drop? Where was his eyes to tell you what was his primary read? His primary read was that over route, or that's what he should be looking at anyway. You got a run off by Westbrook Akine. He's not even a part of the progression for the most part. And so if he's looking at Waller. There's only two options to really look at if you're trying to play within the structure of the play. And so if you're telling him to throw it to the under when you have someone who's outflanked sitting on where he's going, you're going to get the guy killed. You're going to create a turnover. This is the type of stuff that I'm like, what are you looking at? Why would you throw that? You want to throw that because it didn't work? My rant is over. Just a little frustrated when I see things like that. The Dolphins must have saw something on film because they were attacking 51. Play action, pull him down. He doesn't get out. throw a good ball to Waddle, and he drops it. It's a little out in front of him, but your NFL receiver, you want him to get the ball and be able to run with it, get up field, and he drops it. This right here is high level football like acronym. Like this is how you play the position at the quarterback position, and offensive line did their job, did very good. This is what you expect from an NFL team. First off, we're going to start off with both our receivers on the left hand side, 3-by-1. All right, well, tight ends on the other side. Then we turn motion over to get a 2-by-2. Ball comes out, water goes inside. Boom, he gets taken away. But that's not where the ball should be going. And that's not where Tua even starts his read. He starts off to the right hand side of the ball to Waller. The quick out, he doesn't feel comfortable with it. It's man coverage. He tries to go to it. They jump right onto it. Nah, I'm not going to throw that ball, right? It's man coverage on that right hand side, or they match it, depending on how they do it. But on this left hand side, you know, Waddle is our best athlete, the best weapon other than Echan, but the best weapon in the passing game. Right here, we have Waddle line up. Waddle is going to basically slant inside, and they switch it, and he gets trapped by the middle field hook curl defender, which I'm guessing is the Mike backer in this position. And Tua's like, dang, he's already went through 3 reads in this situation. He's already looked at his 2 receivers over here. The 2 outs are taken away. He comes back to Waddle. That's taken away. He comes back and he says, I'm not gonna throw it. Let me just drop it off to Achan. Achan gets the ball and turns basically his 4th read into a 10-yard gain and a first down. This is high level football. Like, this is how you play the position. Because if you could do this consistently, there's nothing they can do to beat you if you're reading them like a book. Because then you're going to always find the open man. You just need time. And that's my biggest issue with the Miami Dolphins. They don't consistently win in pass pro situations, giving their quarterback time to do what you've seen in this particular clip. Again, thank you for watching Saw Talk. Like, comment, subscribe, please. Any comments, good, bad, indifferent. I like it all. I love to create a Discord. Again, thank you for watching. Hopefully, shed some light on the things that I see when I watch the film and why I think Miami's passing game does have some of the struggles. It's a combination of the quarterback, the coach with the passing concepts, the receivers not winning certain places, and then sometimes just timing, defense making being put in the right place at the right time for that particular play call. It's a more of an art, right? It's algorithm, knowing when you're gonna get cover 2 and use cover 2 beaters with your smash. You know when you're gonna get man, you can use rub routes to get your guys open, like breaking those tendencies of that you have and finding the tendencies of a defense. So again, thank you for watching. Welcome to Saw Talk. I was your host with Aris Haiti, and come back next time.
The mic's on fire. Old Garris in the game, taking you higher. Ex-college beast, now the playbook's a feast. Breaking down the lines like a lyrical priest. From the gridiron grind to the sideline shine, he's got the insight sharper than a goal line.